Joanna Pettersson was born in Poland. She works as a university lecturer. Currently, she holds the position of Professor of Translation Theory and Intercultural Communication at a university in Norway. In her free time, she writes fiction. She has published 2 novels already, and her latest publication is entitled Alter, published by Eurobox. We have the chance today to interview her right about this new published book. Hi, Joanna. Thank you for participating and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ginevra, for inviting me. I feel honored. It is actually I'm actually very happy about Eurobooks having shown interest in my book.
Great. Can you please tell us what is Alter about?
Yes, actually the book was published in Poland before I translated it into English with the help of my colleague, Susan Edman. And in Polish, the name of the main character and also the title of the book is pronounced Alter. So excuse me if I sometimes switch to the Polish pronunciation. It's similar to the Italian one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alter or Alter is a fantasy book, but I actually prefer to call it psychological fantasy, although this term is not an established one in the study of literature. But still, the book has 2 main aspects. So, on the one hand, it is an adventure story, a fantasy adventure story. There is a lot of things typical for the genre of fantasy. So we meet supernatural forces in the form of demons and gods and goddesses. There are magical animals, and there is, as I said, a lot of adventure. There are fights and political intrigues and love affairs and murders and a lot of such things. So people who like adventure stories, I suppose, will find what they are looking for in Alter. But the other aspect is the psychological one, and I suppose it's perhaps even more important than everything that happens in the combat field and duels and so on. Actually, I think that while the psychological component is central, it's about what happens in the minds of the 2 main adversaries.
Where does the inspiration to write this book comes from?
My ideas come to me sometimes in dreams, sometimes in daydreams, and I never have a ready plot when I start writing. What happens is that in my imagination, I see the main characters in some interaction. They are talking to each other or they're confronting each other in some way. So it starts with a couple of these kind of scenes. So Alter started with a kind of vision of a young man imprisoned in a very little cell. And at the same time, I used to know something about the main characters. So I knew, for example, that he was a very skilled linguist, talked a lot of languages, and then he was hidden some secret that his adversary wanted to press out of him. Then there was another scene between those 2 main characters, and I didn't know what happened in between. So I normally start by writing down those first scenes I see, and then I start pondering, well, how did it happen that the one has led to another one? So I write in a kind of chaotic way, I admit.
How did it feel to see this book finally published, finally released?
Well, of course, I was very happy when my colleague Susan convinced me to to start this project of translating the Polish book into English. I actually didn't believe it would lead to anything else than my friend Susan reading this book. So I was really surprised and happy when last fall I received an email from Eurobook and many warm words about Alter. So I'm extremely happy over being able to hold this book in my hands. And I'm very grateful to all people that have been involved in the process. And of course, even if there was a lot of proof reading, well, I found a couple of small errors that, well, it happens. I suppose, well, as you say in Latin, errare humanum est.
No book is perfect at the first edition, but the important thing is the message and the content. So we want to wish you very good luck with this book, and thank you again for your time and the opportunity of this interview today.
Thank you very much, and thank to all the staff at Eurobooks.
Alter is a story of courage, passion, and selflessness. In a world ruled by gods, goddesses, and fate, two princes meet. Perhaps it is better to say clash. Not even the help of all the gods and goddesses will prevent the reader from getting involved in this overwhelming adventure. It is now available in bookstores and digital platforms, a publication by Eurobooks.